It is so easy for us landscape photographers to get caught in an uninspiring rut, especially during the bland, boring, dark, wet winter periods without snow. When the rain is hitting the windows and you just want to pull a blanket over your head and turn on the TV. But that does not make new photos. And when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Even in the most depressing, cold and mucky weather, with rain and half-assed snow, there are still amazing options for great photos. Now isn't that just marvelous? Then I arrive and the terrible weather is gone. There's no more snow in the air, there's no more rain in the air. The reason why I wanted it is because you can see here in the background I have the other side of this lake, and I wanted that to be more atmospheric, more misty, so I could hardly see it. Now, I could go out here on a foggy morning, obviously, not to see it. But for this particular shot right here, I actually do want waves in the lake right here, so I can get that unevenness and then completely long expose it so that it looks as if this awesome dead tree actually is placed in like a mad piece of glass or something like that. I do not want the clean reflection. The clean reflection will probably look good, but it's not what I'm after today. So to get the shot, I need to attach a really dark filter so I can get that long exposure. Right now I'm using the 10-stop ND filter from Nisi, the Jetmac Pro, and I'm just attaching it with this step-up ring. So you can see here, just put it on. It's never easy, but the good thing about this specific filter system is that it's magnetic. So now I have the step-up ring on, I can just put on whatever filter I want. So another benefit of these filters is that they are ultra slim, very slim. That means I'm not getting any vignetting whatsoever. Also, it being a 82mm filter that I'm putting on a 72mm front obviously also helps with that. So I've also brought my wellies. Always good idea to bring wellies when you're around water. So the thing is, I have a bush out here right there, which is so annoying because it has like very small fine branches that just sticks out and is super distracting. So I need to go a little bit forward to get my photo right here, which shouldn't be a big issue. My only issue is that background there. Super annoying. Anyway, so I want to have that very long exposure. So I'll put my bulk mode into 90 seconds. So F11, ISO 50, and then with the 10-stop filter on. That ought to do it. And speaking a bit more about the composition, what I try to be aware of is that I don't have these branches here overlap in some annoying way. You can see like this example right there. If I take the camera up, then I can see the branch on the other side. I actually do want it to pop out on the other side. Personally, I find that if I cover that branch right there, then it becomes a little bit odd to look at, and it may become an area of interest. On top of that, I have this outer branch also sticking out of the water right there, and I definitely also want to make sure that that branch right there is part of my composition. And if you want to learn much more about composition, I have links to my 2 ebooks on exactly that topic down in the description of this video. They're super easy to read, they have tons of examples, and I cover everything from balance to depth, over separation, central, off-center composition, visual flow, and much more. With minimal text and tons of examples, they are easy to read. If you are in doubt about whether you want them, there is a free light version to both of them, also down in the description of the video. So a bit of a drizzle seems to be coming back in. So I'm basically just waiting for something to happen, hopefully. And then I'm also like taking several photos and evaluating each photo just to see how the branches are. So I just saw on my first composition that this branch right here was just right there on the background. So I brought the camera a little bit further down like this, so that that branch comes up above the horizon. I think that looks a little bit better. Furthermore, I made sure to place this middle branch here more in between these two branches right there. So there's just so many minute details that you have to keep working with when you see your photo. How do the branches overlap? What do they hit in the background? And so on and so forth. I was fairly confident that the blech weather, in combination with my editing skills, could pull something out of this scene, but I gotta admit, it became even better than I expected. It is just so moody and minimal. I also took a fast shutter speed photo without the filter to capture the texture in the clouds, which I just masked together with the long exposure. And I actually have an entire subchapter about overcast skies in my brand new ebook on light and landscape photography. I should probably mention that earlier with my 2 other ebooks, but there you go. You can get it standalone or bundled up with the 2 ebooks on composition. And thank you so much to all of you who've already got it. The response so far has been amazing. Thank you. And also, contrary to what I will say in a moment, I actually also ended up making some black and white versions of these photos I captured on this day, as if I don't already have enough work to do. Now it would be nice to get something a little bit closer to the tree right here, so I get more of the trunk in there, but I think I'm simply just not wide enough for this. So it's time to put on the 10mm. Oh yeah. So this is much better. I think I'll have to cut out the outermost branch right there. Can I get it? I can actually get it in there. It's funny, I actually find it much harder to compose in here. It's much more overlap with the branches than a bit further away. Maybe actually get the tripod a bit taller. I think I will give this a shot. The thing is, when you're shooting for 90 seconds, it just takes a bit of time to get things right. Alrighty. Now you have probably already thought about it, but yes, I want to get up on top of that tree onto the trunk and take a photo from that perspective. Now, since I have my wellies on, just to be sure, I'm also putting on my micro spikes here, just so I have grip up there. It's definitely slippery. If I had my hiking boots on, I probably wouldn't bother too much with micro spikes, but because I knew I would be in wellies, I'm going to do that. So the hard part up here is to place the tripod. Now I do have my spikes, but I'm actually being a bit lazy. I think I can manage like this. Yeah, this could work, but I think it needs to be a vertical. I think it does need to be a vertical. Ooh, it's tight. So I'm also taking a shot where I'm not using the filter, just so that I have a non-long exposed photo of the sky, and in that way I can always like blend those two photos together, because I think a 90-second exposure of the sky will just like remove any texture in the sky, and I'm not interested in that. I do want to have some texture there. I can go completely high key in post-processing and just make it completely white, but I'm not sure I'm going to go that direction with this shot here. So I am actually getting a little bit of a drizzle now, which means I will have to keep wiping here in front. And I can still see, sadly, a lot of the background there, and it's going to be that dark, annoying line through the photo. So I think I will have to do some masking, either in Camera Raw or in Photoshop, and then add in a little bit of negative dehaze, so actually haze the photo more. So over the years I've actually found that if a photo is a little bit hazy, it's super easy to make it more hazy. If it's just a completely clear day, then the haze filter is not necessarily super great. But on a hazy day, it actually works miracles if you want a little bit more haze or fog or mist in the air. And if you want to learn how I work with atmosphere and mist and fog in post-processing, be sure to get my big Photoshop for Landscape Photographers post-processing course. I've designed it so it's easy to get started with Photoshop, although much of what I edit is actually edited in Camera Raw or Lightroom. Lightroom is built on Camera Raw, so it's the same editing algorithm. Besides working with glow and atmosphere, I also work with luminosity masks, blending with luminosity masks, editing with luminosity masks, focus stacking, focal length blending. I'll show you how to clean your photos properly, how to dodge and burn, and I have like 11 completely start to finish tutorials on top of all the different tutorials on the specific techniques I use. There's a link and a coupon code to get a little bit off down in the description of the video. Out of these 3 photos, I think I prefer the first one, but let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and let me know if you prefer the Moody collection or the black and white collection. Check out the description of the video if you want to learn more about light, composition and editing, and check out the videos on the screen right now if you want to learn more about Moody or minimalist landscape photography. See you next time.